My sister Raya was first diagnosed when she was aged 11, and it was back in 1992. And the landscape of understanding of eating disorders felt very different then. Literally from one day to the next, she stopped eating. I was only 10 at the time, so I was really observing it as a child and watching my parents go through this. But initially they took her to a GP, our family GP, who knew our family well. And his response was really just, oh, it's fine, she'll start eating, give it a few days, don't worry too much about it. And I think as it got more and more acute, as she continued not to eat and her weight dropped, and then her, I guess the changes to her cognition followed and things, they got more and more desperate. I guess the biggest problem was trying to get people to take it seriously, as opposed to just, oh, a young girl who won't eat for a bit or is a bit fussy with food, and realise that this was a really very serious problem that she was facing. I didn't actually witness the day-to-day turmoil from about age 12. I made the decision to move out of home to boarding school because the home environment had become so unpleasant. But in some ways that actually brought me much closer to my parents, because we were talking so frequently, and they made an extra concerted effort to make sure that I was still felt like I was loved and a part of the family. But as a whole, our family unit broke down. If I look at Raya at the later stages of her, or when she was an older age, she looked thin and she looked young, but she didn't look anorexic in that way. And so I think people think that once you've put on the weight, then that's it, and that if you can maintain the weight, then you're cured. But they don't necessarily appreciate the great battle that goes on every day and the great suffering that goes on every day for that person in just functioning like that in the world. We were always very open about the illness, and particularly when Raya committed suicide, very open about the cause of death. The questions around, did we do the right thing? Did we try every option? Did we look hard enough for the right treatment? Was there something we could have changed in the way that we helped her? Were we right to do this? Was this decision the right one? I think that were the questions that are left lingering in the years after the death, and that still linger. And I think if during her illness my parents had been able to explore that more with other people and be reassured, or even share their experiences with others, then those questions would be easier to deal with. In looking back now and saying what could have been done differently, and how could the system have worked differently to give her a better chance of recovery and a better chance to live, that's been really, really positive, because it feels like it's actually something that might make a difference or something that could change.